Okay, so the question is, one of the hard things about TP is accepting the friends. Accepting the friends means that we accept their friends. Now, we want our kids to have friends that are good influences on them. They don't learn Bekiyas, they learn only Be'iyun, and they're very yeshivish or they're very frum. And unfortunately, our kids, are so broken that their friends are really, really low down. They're broken kids. However, not only are they broken, a lot of times a kid will come in and you'll be like, this kid's even worse than my kid. Every kid who is doing something bad out of the box of regular chinuch is learning that bad thing from somebody. Every kid who's smoking a cigarette got a cigarette from somebody. Every kid who smoked weed, somebody introduced that kid to weed. So part of this whole thing is that we're always anti the friends. We always think that, by the way, your kid is then afterwards passing on the favor to the next kid. Nobody's so innocent here. But we always think like, oh, this bad friend, and I got to get my kid away from this guy and that guy. And it's not usually the case. Maybe there are exceptions, so I don't want to say 100%. For the most part, your kid is now finding, based on their broken self-esteem, other kids that have that same level of broken self-esteem. So the homeless kid or the kid who feels totally tzibrochen, these are the kids that they relate to. Now here's what happens. They come home with these kids. Now, first of all, let's remember, the better kids, quote unquote better, whatever level it is, right? The better aren't going to look at your kid, right? And they look down at your kid. Oh, he smokes weed, or oh, he does drugs, or oh, he's a dealer, or oh, whatever it is. There's levels, right? So they can't be friendly with that kid that you wish that he would bring home. Occasionally it happens that you bring in they bring home a friend, and it's actually like somebody like way better and more stable. But then that kid's parents are freaking out. They don't want that kid at your house because what's he going to learn from your kid? How to steal and whatever your kid's into, confusion and watch bad movies and all that. Okay, but for us, most of the time, the kids that are their friends are not good. They're not good influences. They're into bad stuff. Also, another problem is that every broken kid with a low self-esteem, a dropout, kid who dropped out, that their life did not work out for them according to their plan, that the school that they went to, breaks differently. So you get the worst out of everybody. 5 kids together, broken kids, you get the worst. One guy loves to steal. The other one, he's into trafe. And the other one is into porn, and the other one is into girls, and then you put them all together. They're not all bad that, like us, that we just talk Lashon Hara and destroy the Beis HaMikdash. That would be simple. Okay? But so you end up like with a masterminds of corruption and Zebrachenkeit, and they're all teaching each other and influencing each other and brainstorming sometimes, and then they're all applauding whatever the other guy does bad and quick. Oh, you know how to score some, great. You know how to break into cars, cool. You know how to whoa. So they're all getting applauded for their crooked behavior in their individual style of brokenness. One kid's a little just depressed. The other one likes to go party. The other one's going to clubs. The other ones, they all have stuff, right? My car, it's actually been quiet, but I had a tekufa in Flatbush where every Friday night somebody broke into my car, went through my car, took my whatever was there that was valuable or whatever, and unfortunately it was our kids. It's from kids, from families. Then they go around Friday night and they're out on the street and they're not wanted at home. Not TP kids. TP kids by and large are home. We hope most of the time, right? But these are Jewish kids they feel like rejects, so they figure like this guy has a Lincoln, this guy has a Lexus. He doesn't need his 82 cents, so they take whatever they can. Cigarettes, lighters, whatever they can. Right? DVD collection, CD collection. They stole my whole CD collection, and then they realized it's all Jewish music, and they broke back in to return it. No. There were times the window was smashed. There were times that it was just open. I don't know how. But what's interesting is that they really like slobs. Like, clean up after yourself. It's like I always knew right away about Shabbos. Oh, they're back in. I had it like sometimes every Friday night. The glove compartment is open. The lights are on. There's tissues. There's all my stuff. Like clean up. So I put a sign. Please clean up after yourself. And have a little self-respect. Just put the stuff that you're not going to steal back in the glove. Close the glove. And that didn't work either. So now I have a housekeeper that comes around to clean up after them after they break in. I mean, it's crazy. So we don't want them to have these friends. See, here's the problem. Kid walks in and you say, oh, and you realize that you don't like this friend. And they think like, oh, that kid? I'm worse than that kid. And if you don't like him, you really don't like me. You don't accept him, you really don't accept me. And the feeling that they get, whether you intend to give them that... I'm getting there. Very good. That's the conclusion. We'll skip to the conclusion because he's on the ball, right? When they come in with a kid who they know is worse and you say, oh, so nice to see you, then what happens is as follows. First of all, let's see if we can count all the great things that happen. One great thing that happens is
I wish my dad was like you.
The other kid starts saying, I wish my dad was like, wow, you're so lucky. And the kid starts thinking to himself, wow, I really have great parents, which is the medicine, because that's what we're trying to accomplish. So it helps us with our goal, because they hear not just from the kid from my tati buys me stuff, but they hear from all the friends, your dad is so cool, your mom is so accepting. So they start to say, wow, they really are accepting, which is really the deep medicine. They're craving acceptance. And they'll believe much quicker when you see their delinquent friends and you really show that you accept them. Okay, what else do we gain? You know where they are, that they're home, because they're comfortable to be there. Not just your kid is comfortable, their friends are comfortable. You know, they're going from house to house and everybody's like, okay, wait outside. Khani, your friends are outside, you know. And here it's like, whoa, come inside, great to see you. Chaim, Maishi, Yankel, Shlomi, David, oh, great. So the other kids are going to want to stay home. Christopher Anthony, right? Okay, and, okay, what else? So the kids stay, so let's keep track. The first one was that they hear from the other kids. The first, smart boy, right? The first one was that the kids know that you are really that the other kids tell your kid that you're, the second one is that they stay home more. What was the third one? Boost this. Or
he or she feels so good.
Your KIP has, right, your KIP has a higher self-esteem. Right, oh, I love being at your place. Oh, I'm somebody. I'm not just another wanderer who goes house to house trying to find, can we stay at your place? So, okay, and we stay at, you know, these kids in the rain and the cold and they're outside in the park. No, here it's like, yeah, my mom, my dad, wonderful, super fantastic. So it boosts their self-esteem. What else? Who opens up to you? The other kids, which is good for the other kids. They open up to you. We have kids like you. You remember that party 4 years ago? I remember it. Friday night, boys and girls came over to their house, and the girls were drunk and drinking, and they were crying, calling you mommy and tati, and the boys were calling you mommy and crying to you about their pain. So, in other words, besides for your kid, all these neshamas that you really want to lock out, this is your calling. Hashem is sending you broken neshamas. They're also chelik elikam imal, except for the ones that are not gemalit. Those are chelik not gemalit. Okay? But you're doing it for the other reasons. Hang on. Now, there's another reason. Because your kid feels, oh, if you could accept that guy, you really do accept me, because I'm way better than that guy. So they really feel acceptance. And on top of everything, we're trying to be genuine and to show that we look at people that they're good. We see the good in people, right? We see the good in people. We see that everybody's struggling on earth, and we don't look down at people for struggling, just like we don't want Hashem to look at us for our struggles and to believe in us and to trust us. And when we come across and we just are nice, they will believe that my parents, this is not a show. They really became nice. They're really nice people, and kips like nice people. They like being around nice people. They feel more comfortable. What you get at the end of this, forget about the other kids, which is mitzvahs, and it's very important, like we've spoken from the Zohar, Kaddish, and the Baal Shem Tov, and the Chazon Ish. Okay, besides all that, you get your kid being comfortable to be around you. And this answers your question, but even deeper answers a lot of other questions. You have to be focused. What's your job here? You bring a sick kid to the hospital, there's a cancer nebuch growing, the job is to eradicate the cancer. What is your job as a parent? To bond and connect and to have the nafshay kshura b'nafshay that will attach him to you. Think about your questions. Somebody called me up, do I really have to, blah, blah, blah? You don't have to do anything you want. What's going to happen if you do it? What's your NKN level? What's your nafshik shur benafshe level? When you came to me, what was your NKN level? 0. -1 trillion. Negatives, like the deficit. Okay? Some people had decent nafshik shur benafshe levels. They're called nice people. I don't get them. But some people were nice and they managed to keep it. But you know what? Even those who had a good connection, the depth of the connection, the kid feeling my parents get me, understand me, and like me, and trust me, even though I dropped out and I'm Chal Shabbos and I'm doing all these things, and they still have holding on to that rope of the nafshik shur benafshe is very rare. But what's your nafshik shur benafshe level now? Your NKN level. Because if you accept the kids and they come in and you're like, so good to see you. By the way, you'll see they're all nice kids and they're all hurting kids, and you'll do a lot of good kirov and a lot of good stuff. They're just and you'll be a place and it's a mitzvah and all that. But your nafshik shur benafshe level will be much higher, and your kid will be home much higher. And last but not least, which is kind of what we said before, when they're home, they're a lot safer. If we have to have a boy or a girl Friday night or any night out in the street, all alone, bad things happen. We've had girls and boys who never were, I don't even want to talk about stuff that happened to them out there on the street. You want your kids home. You want your kids home as much as possible. They're still going to go out and they're still going to have stuff, but you want them home, and when they're out, you want them thinking about you. You want them knowing, I have a tati, I have a mommy. They make for less prey. It's harder. The people who are out there looking for people to hurt, there's a certain self-esteem that comes along with a kid who knows, my parents, they dropped me off, they're picking me up, they gave me money for this, they're in my life, they bought me this thing.
Security.
It's a security and a self-esteem. And that protects the kids for 2 reasons. The first reason is, and both of them we learned from Egla Rufa. When I have a dead person in between, let's say, Bar Park and Flatbush, so then what happens is, you bring an Egla Rufa. And the Zakenim say, Yodeinu lo yishavchu dam zeh. We did not kill this person. And Chazal say, did we think that the elder, you think that Ramesha Wolfson really killed this guy? You really think that Rebbe Yosef Rosenblum went out and killed this guy? So what does it mean? Teretz is that we didn't let him go by here, go through our city, and not give him food, mazon and levaya. And the kasha is, let's say you would have given him a tuna fish sandwich and walked him out 10 feet. So then he wouldn't have gotten killed an hour later? So Chazal or Mefarshim say, because somebody who's cared for walks differently. A person who feels that I count, my existence means something in this world, he is, they'll see him and they'll say, oh, this guy's walking not that he would have fought it more. They'll go for the next guy, and the next guy's a schlepper and he's walking, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. He looks like a target, like a victim. Victim mentality. Do you know how many kids get molested? I worked with them. And they told me I was molested by 27 people. It's like, how much bad luck could you have? Once they're a victim, there's a lot of other reasons also, but victims, and we all have this. You ever have a bad day? What does it mean? I had such a bad day. It's like you wake up, you stub your toe, and then after 4 things happen, another 12. How does it know? It's a different aura around you. So it says if we would have given him some compassion, you care, you matter, we would have given him food, we would have given him levaya to walk him out like a chashuv person, then the murderer wouldn't have picked on him. He wouldn't have looked like such a, right? So that's the first thing that you get. The kid who's going to the city in the middle of the night, the kid who's going out to the parks, but they're going out, my tati got me this thing, I'm eating this chocolate chip cookies that my parents bought me, I'm wearing this sweater, this coat, this earmuffs that my parents got for me. That kid is automatically, when the bad people are there, they see a pass, we'll go for the next one. By the way, that's why they say to have alarm systems. The first day in Crook School, they teach you how to bypass an alarm system. So what does it help? Because why would I go ahead and have to do that if across the street there's one without an alarm? So I'll go to that one. The same thing, they schmeck, they feel, molesters are the same. They could tell which kid has a great relationship with his parents. A lot of times that's a deterrence. That there's just a smell of the kid who's like broken and empty and a victim. A lot of times that makes a difference.
But to say that for a child that was 7 that was molested, when at that point the relationship was good.
Yeah, there are some kids who are a little at risk of getting molested, and the candy man in shul knows which ones. They have a certain emptiness in them. There are a lot of kids that got molested even without the emptiness, you're right. But then there are kids who are more vulnerable because of different factors. But that's not the point of what I was trying to say now. The point I'm trying to say now is that when you give that kid and they walk out, they have less trouble. Also, I think it's a Rishon, and I have it written down, I'm not prepared for right now, says something amazing, that when you take care of somebody, your care and concern creates angels that protect it from harm. I think it's a Ramban or an Even Ezer, it's in the Mekros Gedolos, that the care and concern that you have for somebody creates angels that protect them from harm. Now, that's mind-blowing. I never knew that. We create angels when we make a bracha, we make a shahakal, we can create an angel. But your care and concern, you made a tuna fish sandwich, and you walked them out of the thing, and therefore, they wouldn't have gotten killed, they wouldn't have gotten mugged and robbed an hour later. So, this Rishon, I forgot what it says, yes. So the same thing. What we're doing here with our kids, by accepting their friends, is saying, I accept you. If your kid isn't brisk and comes home with a bunch of friends, you're going to accept them. So all of a sudden, this kid, by not accepting, it becomes like, oh, because I'm not good enough for you. Oh, because, and right away they realize, it's not just that you're judging them, you're judging me. And they realize, oh, you're still that same judgmental guy. They hate that we are judgmental. I got a call today from a very chashuv, very chassidish family, that their son moved out and he went to a modern Orthodox community. And he was settled in over there with his wife and kids. He said, I love it. Now, we don't know the end of the story, but he said, I couldn't take, in Williamsburg or whatever it was, how judgmental everybody is. He was very sensitive to that. Obviously, he's a little bit out of the box. Some people were looking down. I'm not judging the whole community, okay? I'm just saying is, our KiPs hate, one of the things they hate, the hypocrisy, and that we're so judgmental. We're so judgmental. So when you go ahead and you don't accept and treat her friends or his friends the same as you should treat your successful kids and their friends, then you lose all of those different things.